Hi, my name is Kate Tsubata. I'm actually going to share with you a little bit about what I think is the most important thing in writing, especially on the job. A lot of people think writing is a very difficult thing to do. In fact, it's probably one of the most daunting of skills that people find themselves having to do day in and day out, no matter what their profession is. But actually, writing is a fairly simple process once you know how to do it. What I think is one of the most important aspects of writing, especially on the job, is clarity. What do we really want to do when we write? What we want to do is to get something across to the person who is going to be reading what we're writing. So it's very important that they understand this. And this is one of the things that many people miss in writing. In fact, oftentimes what we're taught to do is to write things in the most intelligent way possible, or the way that sounds the most, let's say, up-to-date, or having the latest buzzwords, or things like that. But actually, really good writing is very, very clear. The second thing I think is most important in on-the-job writing is persuasiveness. It doesn't really matter if we have written the most gorgeously wonderful prose in the entire world if it doesn't have an effect. We want our writing to actually have a specific effect. And more importantly, we want it to have the effect that we intend, not the opposite effect. If we're seeking to sell someone, we don't want to convince them, no matter what, I'm never going to buy that. Well, in the same way, there's always a purpose for our writing. There's always something that we're trying to get across. So persuasiveness is a very, very essential part of really good writing. A third aspect of really good writing is to be able to write in such a way that the other person actually feels that they completely understand the issue. Now, a lot of times this goes missing. People think, well, let me write it so I would understand it. But they don't always realize, well, wait a minute, I'm a specialist in this field. I'm someone who speaks this way all the time because I speak to the same people like myself. But many times we aren't writing for people who are exactly like ourselves. We're writing for people who are not in our field. Or we're writing for people who don't happen to know exactly what that particular phrase or slogan or method of work is. And when we do that, we actually turn off our audience. We make them feel actually distanced from us, and then they actually sort of mentally close down and they shut off from the reading, and it interferes with the comprehension, and it interferes with their ability to smoothly absorb whatever it is that we're trying to say. So writing is actually, at essence, it is a communication. It's a matter of communicating between myself, between something I know about, a subject area that I am very familiar with, and my reader, my viewer, my audience. What I really believe is the most important thing that needs to come across to people is not exactly what is the sentence structure of the noun and the verb and the object and the indirect object and the preposition. But more importantly, how can I be clear? How can I actually be persuasive? And how can I express things in such a way that the reader really feels they understand that issue? And that's really, at essence, what I consider to be very good writing. And that's what I try to convey whenever I am in the process of teaching people the skills, teaching people how to express themselves with the written word. Thank you very much.